Hello everyone, welcome. Knowing how to express a word or phrase in Spanish that you've memorized is great, but knowing how to generate your own original thoughts in Spanish is even better, and that's what I'd like to show you how to do in this video. So we're going to do it one topic at a time, so the focus of this video is using the verb necesitar, which means to need, and an infinitive. So being able to say that you need to do something or someone else needs to do something, that's the topic, and that's what we're going to work with here. So all you need is just a little bit of vocabulary. So over here on the left we have our subjects. I, which is yo, so yo necesito, I need. The doctor needs, this is a female doctor. La doctora necesita. The nurse needs, this is a female nurse. La enfermera necesita. And then the last one here, the patient needs, and this is a female patient. La paciente necesita. Over here on the right, we have our infinitives, which are verbs that haven't been conjugated. In English, all infinitives have to in front of them, so to work, to eat, to study. So here we have to work, which is trabajar. To rest, descansar. To wait, esperar. To eat, comer. And to listen, escuchar. So now here comes the fun part, putting it all together. If you want to say, I need to work, yo necesito trabajar. Now, Spanish speakers usually do not use the subject pronoun if it's understood by the ending of the verb, what that subject is. O only goes with yo, so most Spanish speakers will not use the yo when they speak. They'll simply say necesito. So, necesito trabajar, I need to work. I need to rest, necesito descansar. I need to wait, necesito esperar. I need to eat, necesito comer. And I need to listen, necesito escuchar. So it's really that simple, putting it all together. Let's go on to the next one here. The doctor needs to work. La doctora necesita trabajar. The doctor needs to rest. La doctora necesita descansar. The doctor needs to wait. La doctora necesita esperar. The doctor needs to eat. La doctora necesita comer. The doctor needs to listen. La doctora necesita escuchar. La enfermera, this is the female nurse. So the nurse needs to work. La enfermera necesita trabajar. The nurse needs to rest. La enfermera necesita descansar. The nurse needs to wait. La enfermera necesita esperar. The nurse needs to eat. La enfermera necesita comer. The nurse needs to listen. La enfermera necesita escuchar. And again, remember that is a female nurse, la enfermera. The patient, this is a female patient. The patient needs to work. La paciente necesita trabajar. The patient needs to rest. La paciente necesita descansar. The patient needs to wait. La paciente necesita esperar. The patient needs to eat. La paciente necesita comer. The patient needs to listen. La paciente necesita escuchar. So it's that simple, your conjugated form of necesitar and then your infinitive. So necesitar and an infinitive. Let's mix it up and add a little bit more information here, change up some of the information. Now we have usted necesita, you need. Necesitamos, we need. Los pacientes necesitan, the patients need. Ellos necesitan, they need. So we have some different forms of necesitar here, different subjects. One different infinitive. We've changed one here. Pensar means to think. The rest of them are the same. So let's look at what we can do with this information. If I want to tell someone you need to think, usted necesita pensar. You need to rest, usted necesita descansar. You need to wait, usted necesita esperar. You need to eat, usted necesita comer. And you need to listen, usted necesita escuchar. Necesitamos is we need. The subject here is nosotros, which is we, but we don't need it because of the ending. So we simply say in Spanish, necesitamos, we need. We need to think. Necesitamos pensar. We need to rest. Necesitamos descansar. We need to wait. Necesitamos esperar. We need to eat. Necesitamos comer. And we need to listen. Necesitamos escuchar. Los pacientes necesitan. The patients need. Notice the N because it's plural. The patients need to think. Los pacientes necesitan pensar. The patients need to rest. Los pacientes necesitan descansar. The patients need to wait. Los pacientes necesitan esperar. The patients need to eat. Los pacientes necesitan comer. The patients need to listen. Los pacientes necesitan escuchar. Ellos necesitan. Ellos means they. So if you want to say they need, ellos necesitan. Ellos is plural, so notice the N. Ellos necesitan pensar. They need to think. They need to rest. Ellos necesitan descansar. They need to wait. Ellos necesitan esperar. They need to eat. Ellos necesitan comer. They need to listen. Ellos necesitan escuchar. Now, how would you like to be able to ask questions with necesitar? Well, this is the last part of our video here. So let's ask questions in Spanish. If I want to say, do you need to work? ¿Necesita usted trabajar? Do you need to rest? ¿Necesita usted descansar? Do you need to speak? ¿Necesita usted hablar? Do you need to eat? ¿Necesita usted comer? Do you need to listen? ¿Necesita usted escuchar? Now remember, you've learned that you can omit a subject pronoun if the subject is understood. So if you've already established a speaking relationship with someone where you use usted, the formal you, you can actually leave it out when you're asking questions as long as they understand that the question is directed to them. So if I want to say, do you need to work? I can leave out the usted and simply say, ¿necesita trabajar? Do you need to rest? ¿Necesita descansar? Do you need to speak? ¿Necesita hablar? Do you need to eat? ¿Necesita comer? And do you need to listen? ¿Necesita escuchar? Does the patient need, if I want to say, does the patient need to work? ¿Necesita el paciente trabajar? Does the patient need to rest? ¿Necesita el paciente descansar? Does the patient need to speak? ¿Necesita el paciente hablar? Does the patient need to eat? ¿Necesita el paciente comer? Does the patient need to listen? ¿Necesita el paciente escuchar? Do they need to work? ¿Necesitan ellos trabajar? Do they need to rest? ¿Necesitan ellos descansar? Do they need to speak? ¿Necesitan ellos hablar? Do they need to eat? ¿Necesitan ellos comer? Do they need to listen? ¿Necesitan ellos escuchar? Do we need to work? ¿Necesitamos trabajar? Do we need to rest? ¿Necesitamos descansar? Do we need to speak? ¿Necesitamos hablar? Do we need to eat? ¿Necesitamos comer? Do we need to listen? ¿Necesitamos escuchar? So that's it. In just a little bit over 9 minutes, you learned how to say a lot of things in Spanish just with one verb, the verb necesitar. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.